Hi everyone, this is Penguin Trades. So this is going to be a little bit different video today. In this video I'm going to be going over the way that I trade, like the actual methodology of it, which of course, I do that every video, but I'm going to be going over a little bit of a change today. So when I trade, the way I've always traded was you apply your overnight high and you put your overnight low, and then you trade the price action that forms from that day. Overnight high, overnight low, and then you trade what forms that day. Now, you can draw bigger picture structures that span across multiple days, and this is something I've been looking into for a while now. The way that I've always traded was just within that one day, so usually I would just kind of go back to the way that I've always traded. If you're on the website, then you heard me talking about this a couple months ago, but I kind of just went back to the, just trading with the price action from that day. And, that's the way I've always traded. And as I started looking into bigger picture stuff, because the way I started trading was for 1 point scalps. And as I started looking into bigger picture stuff, I had to learn it myself. And I kept a lot of the, methodology from 1 point scalps. And when you're scalping for 1 point, there really isn't a point in, looking at multiple days, because the trades are so small, and each tick offers you some kind of information about a scalp, whereas when I trade on a bigger picture, I don't care about each tick that goes by necessarily. I care about bigger picture swings. But the point is, as I start trading bigger picture, I kind of just kept it within the overnight levels, and so I wasn't expanding it enough. You can draw these structures over multiple days. Now, a lot of the times, like let me show you this here. This trade right here, you would have gotten either way, whether you draw bigger picture structures over multiple days, you would have found this one anyway. It sets up either way. And so you're not always going to be, getting more trades because of it necessarily. But it can offer bigger picture context. For instance, here you have an uptrend and a break. When an uptrend gets a break, you can expect prices to attempt a new high. We're getting a pretty good rush up here. Now, we have our overnight low level here. And so when we rush back above here, price is attempting to make a new high for this uptrend. And so this is a great place for a failed second entry, because you're fading back into that overnight low level. If you can get a push in and then a couple legs back holding, that would be a great long, because one, you're continuing the fade. It would be a couple legs back, retesting, forming a failed second entry on a big picture. So starting from here, it'd be a failed second entry. Let me draw it out just for an easy visual. So if you get a couple legs back, and that is a big picture failed second entry. First entry short, second entry short, failure, and you'd be expecting a new high for this uptrend. So it would be a really good place for a long. I just wanted to go over this more, because the bigger picture trades you take and the bigger picture structures you're looking at, as you get bigger picture, you're eventually going to need to go into the other days. Like, if I pull up a 10,000 tick chart, if you're going to start drawing channels on there, it's obviously going to be over multiple days. What about when you pull up a 20,000 tick chart? Now, I'm not trading on any of those time frames, but the point is, the bigger picture you go, you're eventually going to be needing to use structures from other days. And so this is something that I'm getting into, and I have been. I've more just been looking into it a lot more, but today I was trading with it, and it really is simple. I mean, I don't want to call it trading simple, but because obviously it is very complex to learn, and it takes a lot of time, but it's not that much of a change. If you understand price action, this isn't that big of a change. It'll take some getting used to, because you got to zoom out more and stuff like that, but it's still the same concept. You have your uptrend break, you can expect prices to attempt a new high, and you're still trading based off of the overnight highs and lows. And yeah, so I just wanted to go over this because, as I'm getting into this, at first, I wanted to really make sure of this and make sure everything is good before I really start talking about it more. But, now that I'm doing this, I'm not going to be, I have to mention it. I mean, this is what I'm trading. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure I just really have this all down before I kind of got more into it. But anyway, so now that I'm more comfortable with it, this is going to be how I'm regularly trading. So today I was trading like this. You can go into the replays and backtest a lot, and I've been doing a whole bunch of that. But But and I love doing that. But anyway, I'm going to be trading like this more often now, so just wanted to let y'all know, because I don't want to just start making videos and not make I don't want to make a video just kind of out of nowhere showing this. I wanted to really explain what I'm doing before, kind of making this the regular type of review. So, yeah, anyway, we might as well just get into this now. So, starting off, let me take my jacket off really quick. It's getting hot. All right, sorry about that. So, starting off here, we're in this uptrend right here. This is the NQ. If you ever get confused on which market I'm on, you just look up right here. It says NQ right there. And so we have this uptrend. We're in this uptrend right here, and then today starts. I started trading at 8 Central Time, or it was actually a little bit later today. It was more like 8:30 today. But anyway, so that's around this area here. And as we push up here, we already have kind of this range going. And, as we push lower here, you can just adjust your overnight high, and it's about where you get the most bounces. The overnight high and low are not necessarily about the absolute high and low of the overnight. It's about where you get the most bounces, and that level is clearly here. So even though right here, that's the highest swing with those bodies, I think it's better right here because you have those 3 bounces. So anyway, like I said, I started trading in this area here. Notice we have this uptrend, break, and then price starts pushing up to a new high. Now, even though we have this previous push up, and so it's like uptrend, break, pushing up to a new high, this is still an important swing right here, because this swing forms our overnight low, and we push on up here, break, price attempts to make a new high, and then this is, of course, where we start finding more resistance, and it becomes very, very clear that this is our overnight high level, and so price attempts to reverse. Now, this is a place that you could easily get a reversal pattern because you're pushing off the overnight high, but it doesn't form. You could have gotten a failed second entry there, but it ends up just continuing on higher. And then when we break out of the overnight high, notice we get this attempt to fade back in. Now, if we had gotten a second attempt to fade, then that could have given us a long down here, because when you break out, you don't just want to immediately buy the breakout. You only want to buy the breakout after you get 2 clear attempts to fade, because price naturally tries to fade after breaking out of ranges and overnight levels. And so if you get 2 attempts to fade and it still has not faded, then it's likely going to fail. And then you want to look to get in on that failure, ideally on a retest. And so anyway, it just pushes on up. It doesn't do that. Pushes on up, makes a new high. We get this first entry long, second entry. You can see there's a second entry there. I don't view this as a good second entry long. I just view this as very, very choppy right here. There's one clear leg right there, but then this second leg is not a very clear leg. It's just continuing to go sideways right there. So I don't view that as a good trade. It does push on up there. You'll make 1-to-1 on that, but it doesn't mean that it'll work out next time. So we push on up, and then we just suddenly get a very sharp drop back in. And so, which I do want to draw up this really quick. Notice that we have from the overnight low, we push on up, got this measured move, and first attempt up, and then second attempt up. So you still have your uptrend break. First attempt higher, second attempt higher at this measured move. And of course, one other thing, since I forgot to redraw that there, you would obviously be entering right into that as well, which is obviously not good. So at this measured move, price starts pushing back in, and we fade back into the overnight high. And so this is a place that you can get a reversal pattern. This is a great place for a reversal pattern, because if you can expect a fade, then and that's down, then of course you would want a reversal pattern, because that's the best type of short, at a reversal area, that is. And so if we get a failed second entry, then we can look to get short, ideally 2 legs back, holding off the overnight high. So as you can see, you don't get that there. You just get 1 leg back, holding off of it, and that second leg pushes back out. You don't want to enter short directly into that level again. Again, you wanted to see it hold, not push back out and then enter above, because it can end up holding onto the top side and take on off again. So unfortunately, it just does not form a good reversal pattern here. But we push on down here, we start making that second leg down, and now we have this measured move. So downtrend, break, and then even though you had your first attempt lower there, this on a bigger picture is our first attempt lower. So downtrend, this is basically just a 2-legged break, and then first attempt lower, and we can still expect a second attempt lower. And this measured move is still in play. So we get these 2 legs back right here, retesting the overnight high, very clear reaction to it, pushing back below the EMA, 2 measured legs up, this is a great looking trade right here. There was some clear resistance right here. You had this bounce here, and then when it bounces there and there again, that's obviously not a coincidence. There was clearly something there, but this target was within that, so it doesn't matter. And it ends up pushing on through here, and we reach that measured move. Notice that there's a clear reaction right off that measured move right there. So if we had pushed up, we could have gotten some kind of reversal out of there, because again, it's common to reverse at measured move levels, just like we reversed at this one here. Price attempted to right here. Notice as soon as it touched it, it wicked off, got these green bars, but it did end up continuing on down. Now notice this channel here off of these lows. So right off those first two swings, and price ended up not holding on it. It had a small hold on it, where it bounced right off of it to the tick, pushed on out, but it ended up breaking right after. So anyway, we push on lower here. Now we break out of the overnight low and we break this channel here. So when you break out of the overnight low, you can expect price to attempt to fade back in. Now when you break an uptrend, you can expect price to attempt a new high. And so there's two things for the bulls here. Now obviously, as soon as you break, you don't just want to immediately buy because there's a chance of making a new high. You want to wait for confirmation. You want to wait for price to start fading back in, and then you want to get in, ideally, on a failed second entry. Now, it just doesn't happen here. It ends up just making a retest of the overnight low, and then fade, and then pushing back lower. But we could have gotten a failed second entry, pushing back in, and then we could have looked for a long. But it ends up holding down here. There's no good short here either because, again, this huge uptrend, it did just break. And considering you don't have two clear legs, it could just end up pushing a little bit lower here and then making a second big leg up. You might get something like this because that's clearly one leg, So anyway, we push on lower here. That retest is very strong. We continue on down. We're making these two legs down here, and we have this clear downtrend right here. Now, as we push lower here, we start to get choppy and we form this range. There's really nothing clear in it. After it forms, you can still see there's a couple legs down there, but it's not off of anything, and it's very bearish at this point. You don't want to enter right into the EMA anyway. And so we push on lower here, and then we get this retest of that range right here. So notice that you are getting a retest right on that previous resistance level, two measured legs back with a sharp reaction, 1-to-1, with enough room down to those lows there. This is a great looking short right here, and notice that as soon as this measured move is met, price immediately starts taking on off, attempting to make a new high for this uptrend right here. So uptrend, break, and then price is attempting to make a new high. So, again, like I said, I guess I was talking about this earlier. We can make a failed second entry. We're starting to fade back in at this point. If we get a couple legs back, we can get a long because it's on a big picture. Again, first entry short, second entry short, failure. It might not set up exactly as these arrows are forming, but, it could push on up maybe higher and get two sharper legs back. There's different possibilities, but anyway, I hope this video helped out. So this is going to be, basically more normal. And I'd say, if this looks interesting, I'd say to back test it yourself. Don't just switch over because I do. I think it's worth back testing, and you can go into the replays on NinjaTrader, which are very useful tools. When I first started using NinjaTrader a long time ago, I didn't even know that I had access to replays for a very long time. Which, by the way, if you use NinjaTrader or if you use any trading platform or whatever, I would recommend just learning everything about the platform because, there's features in NinjaTrader that I've had that have been there like always, but I didn't know about them until I've already had NinjaTrader for years. Like, one thing that I only learned a couple years ago is if you go up to the drawing tool section, which you probably can't see it in my video because it's just recording the window, but if you go up to the drawing tools, you can remove all drawing objects at the very bottom, which is a very convenient thing because I didn't even know that until I had NinjaTrader for like 2 years. But anyway, just learn how to use the platform because it will make your life so much easier. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Didn't mean to get off topic at the end there, but anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.